times, and they've won the title on 6 occasions. This year, the Blue Jays slumped early, but they've peaked as they've entered the playoffs. The Jays' brilliant Brian Wood, a first-team All-American, scored 5 times in Hopkins' semifinal win over Maryland. And head coach Don Zimmerman's team seems hungry to regain the title. The opposition today is the Big Red of Cornell. Head coach Richie Moran and his team are making their first title game appearance since 1978. The Red feature the nation's leading scorer and attack man Tim Goldstein, the Ivy League's Player of the Year, and an outstanding defense anchored by goaltender Paul Schmoller. ESPN, the Total Sports Network, presents the 1987 Lacrosse National Championship. From Piscataway, New Jersey, it's the Johns Hopkins University Blue Jays and the Cornell University Big Red. These two teams last got together in 1983, and the Blue Jays came away with a 1-goal victory. Hi, everyone. This is Bill Roth, along with Lee Valsmo from Rutgers, and it's a bit ironic that the last time the Big Red made a national championship game appearance, it was 9 years ago, right here at Rutgers Stadium, and right here against the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. And the Big Red advanced to the finals by upsetting Syracuse in a very exciting game.
Well, they really did. The Big Red has gotten here with a run-and-gun style of play. They had to score 18 goals to beat Syracuse's 15 goals in the second highest semifinal ever. Now they're in against a Hopkins team who controlled the tempo in their game against Maryland, deliberate style, more one-on-one.
The Johns Hopkins Blue Jays have won 41 national titles. They'll be going for number 42 here today, and as usual, they have the players that lead the national championships.
Well, they really do. Brian Wood is the guy you have to look for today, number 15. Now, here he is shooting one of his 5 goals in the semifinals. He's had an up-and-down season. He had to produce to beat this fine Maryland team, and he did. 5 goals, 2 assists. He is a bona fide All-American that has to produce today in a deliberate style of play to get Hopkins into the finals.
The Big Red come into today's game undefeated on the season. The last time they had an undefeated team was 10 years ago, and they won the national title in a game played at Charlottesville, Virginia. They, too, seem to have the ingredients to lead the national championships.
Well, they really do. Their style is different, though. Look for a running gun. They'll want to up the tempo. They'll want to really push the ball. And for them to be successful, Cornell will have to move the ball to a lot of different people. They've got another bona fide All-American in Tim Goldstein. And again, number 15. Watch this. This is his goal from the semifinal game, and Goldstein is a good shooter. But for Cornell to win, Goldstein will have to produce an assist. He will have to be feeding the shooters. 2 goals, 5 assists in the semis. Look at that, 7 points from each of the number 15 stars on the teams. That'll be the battle. The pure shooter Wood against the pure feeder Goldstein.
It's the Blue Jays against the Big Red for the national championship, and we'll meet the starting lineup in just a moment. Getting set to battle for the national championship. Today's game is brought to you by Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. Both teams are on the field. Leaf, the starting lineups.
Well, it's Cornell against Hopkins, and again, one of the most exciting lineups for a championship play. And here's the starting attack for Hopkins. Bouvier and Wood, first-team All-Americans. Mike Morrow, though, the guy statistically who's carried the team all year. They'll be going against a very tough defense today, led by Steve Paletta, number 43 for Cornell. Aaron Jones also very fast and dangerous. The starting midfields, Larry Ledoyne having the finest season of his career. Brendan Kelly can score a lot. John Dressel, a real workhorse. The starting midfield for Cornell, Vince Angotti and Bob Cummings, both able to score. And Paul Keener, another formidable, very foundation player on that midfield. Going to the starting defense for Hopkins, Dave Petramala, number 43, is the guy that they have to watch out for if you're on the Cornell side. Lilly and DiTomaso playing a secondary role. Starting attack, Wurzberger, Meyer, and number 1 in the feed assist category, the number 1 scorer in the nation, number 15, Tim Goldstein. That's how they set up. In the goal, we're going to have Quint Kesenick, an outstanding freshman, 61% save percentage on the year, and Paul Schmoller, 69%. 2 excellent goalies, and again, in any top competition, the goalies can also dictate what's going to happen on the field.
A little bit cooler here today than it was for the semifinals. It was near 80 degrees, and the humidity has dropped considerably as we get set to crown another champion here in the sport of lacrosse.
And Bill, the weather will be a relief for Hopkins because they don't have the depth that most of these teams in the Final Four have enjoyed. Hopkins needs to spot players, and Donnie Zimmerman right now, glad that the weather's cooled down. A very intense coach, one of the best coaching staffs in the country. And, of course, for Cornell, Richie Moran. These are two of the class organizations, class systems in the lacrosse world. The two best records in NCAA playoff history right here for the finals.
It will be Greg Gunning, number 34 for Hopkins, and Joe Lizio, number 14 for Cornell, to take the opening face-off, and you can feel the excitement here in New Jersey. Crowd of probably around 15,000 in attendance, and the Blue Jays win the face-off, and they send it back to Kesenic, their freshman goaltender, who played very well in their win over Maryland in the semifinals.
In that same win, Bill, in the early going, Hopkins controlled the face-offs against Maryland, and it was then that they were able to control the tempo by getting that face-off, possessing the ball, and being very deliberate, making their shots count.
43 is Petra Malo, one of the close defenders, and Kesenic will start to clear on the right side. The midfielder, Larry Ledoyen, a transfer from Virginia. He hands off to Brendan Kelly into the goal area. This is the Blue Jays' 13th appearance in the title game. For Cornell, it is their 4th. Here's Larry Ledoyen on the left side. He feeds Brian Wood, who had 5 goals in their semifinal win.
Interesting matchup on Bouvier. Vivian's on him. He normally plays crease. He'll be forced to go outside.
Brendan Kelly feeds Mike Morrill behind the cage. Morrill is number 3. He's guarded by Jones. Morrill on the near side, drops the ball. Jones with a good stick check. And it is the Big Red with the ground ball. Paletta into the attack half. Here's Long. Feeds in front to Meyer, and he shot it over the net.
That was textbook Cornell lacrosse. They came right down the field, 4 passes, an excellent shot. They picked up the ball and immediately exercised the tempo they want to do. Richie Moran pushing the ball. He needs to move it a lot to get a lot of scores, a lot of shots.
They can light up the scoreboard. They put in 18 against Syracuse. Here's Goldstein, the nation's leading scorer, number 15. Circles the cage.
The big surprise here is that Lily's playing Goldstein. The best guy, Petramala, is not on him.
Number 7 is Vince Angotti, a freshman. Fires to Bob Cummings, who wears number 9. Into that goal area off the screen. DiTomaso knocked the ball away, but Angotti regained. Shoots, and Kesenic made the first save of the game for the Blue Jays. Here come the Blue Jays. And a whistle behind the play. Danenchuk raced up the field, and there was a push behind the play. You see the call. And 1 minute.
That call happened all the way down when Kesenic got the ball, brought it out. He was hit from behind by Vince Angotti. And the play continued down to the other end of the field. A good break for Hopkins. Hopkins, again, with that deliberate style. They've got some excellent players, but they don't want to run and gun with Cornell. Now they'll have a chance with the extra man situation to get that early lead they desperately want.
If you don't follow lacrosse, there are 6 attacking Blue Jays against 5 defending Big Red players, plus the goaltender Schmoller. Here's Brian Wood feeding Bouvier at the top of the box. John Wilkins on the right side, threw it by Wood. It will stay in play on this grass surface. Ledoyen gets run down, and Wood counterattacks. Feeds Bouvier in front to Morrill. He scores a man-up goal, and the Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead with the extra man goal, and Hopkins leads 1-0.
It really came off a transition style. It wasn't an extra man play at all, but this shows you how Hopkins is perfectly able to push the tempo of the game. Wood brings it in the middle of your screen, drops it down to Bouvier. Bouvier takes one more pass to Morrow. Watch Morrow. He makes the goalie commit high, drops it low underneath him. Once the goalie commits, of course, he can rarely change that direction. An excellent play by a Hopkins team who is pegged as being a very deliberate team, but obviously with the skills they have, they can pass and catch with any team in the country.
Gunning easily wins this faceoff and feeds it into Wood. And the Blue Jays have the attack again. Bouvier behind the net. Vivian guards him. Wood stepped out of bounds.
Nice play on the defensive side by Paletta. That's their #1 defender, Steve Paletta, 6'2", 190. He's matched up against that pure shooter, Brian Wood. a key for Cornell is to turn off the faucet on all that scoring that Brian Wood is capable of.
We'll see how the Big Red attempt their clear here. Not a particularly tough ride being employed by the Blue Jays. They're nearly conceding this.
Bill, they did
clear.
this all against Maryland. That's a deep drop back, but we did see that there was a hint in practice that they might go to a 10-man ride in certain situations. So we'll watch for that. This situation, it's a very soft defense, as you mentioned. Later on in the game, they may put on a 10-man pressure, which would be absolutely unique for Hopkins.
They get it across to Aaron Jones, one of those long sticks. He passes to Caliendo, number 22, a junior midfielder, native of New Jersey. Now here is Goldstein. Tries to run in on that midfielder. Here's Goldstein with a shot. He scores. Tim Goldstein puts it by Kesenic, and the Big Red tied at 1.
Real cat and mouse game by the coaches right now, Bill. An interesting thing that Zimmerman did, and he put Lilly, number 37, not his best defender, on Goldstein, 15. Now, what does Goldstein do? He comes out top here and becomes a shooter, not a feeder. And as you can see, he can beat Lilly very easily, and he puts the ball in the hole. Goldstein, 15, normally a feeder, but right now turned into a shooter because of the matchup that Zimmerman put on him. Moran recognized it immediately and said to Goldstein, take this guy, Lilly. Take him to the cooker. He beat him easily. Got the shot, 1-1.
At 3:33, another Hopkins victory on the faceoff, and Wood is hit by Jones, but flips it to Morrow behind the back with a nifty pass. And now Chandenchuk will settle it down for the attacking Blue Jays. Here's Brian Wood, number 15, guarded by Jones. Feeds Bouvier, who's 6'4".
This might be the toughest matchup, Bill, for Cornell. Vivian against Bouvier. Hopkins should take advantage of it.
Bouvier zings it wide. The Blue Jays will retain possession. Their player was closest to the end line when the shot sailed wide. Number 15 is Brian Wood, who started the season at midfield but was put back at attack because the Jays just weren't scoring any goals. And he had 5 in their semifinal win.
Good, come left.
Larry Ladoyan, a midfielder, number 14.
And you can hear Shimola, the goalie, calling out position for his defense.
Francis pokes it back to midfield, runs down a player, and Dressel regains, and the Jays counterattack. Here's Brendan Kelly, number 32. He's knocked down by Francis. And Aaron Jones races into Hopkins' real estate. It's a 4-on-3, and Goldstein couldn't handle the pass.
That was a textbook fast break, and I'm telling you, Goldstein will be thinking about that one for about a week. They had another chance for a goal right there. Goldstein couldn't handle the pass.
Here's 15. Goldstein feeds in front to Meyer. Couldn't handle it, and the whistle blows. Back across field, an offside call. It's 1-1 in the national championship game. The Blue Jays, the Big Red. Rutgers and the national championship game. Even to this point, 10 minutes to play in our first quarter. Mike Morrill, the goal scorer for Hopkins, and Tim Goldstein for Cornell. Here's a long crossfield pass for the Jays. Use that to break the ride. Greg Kelly picks it up. This is what Don Zimmerman calls his J team. He brings in a second attack and a second midfield to replace the starters to give them a little bit of a breather on the bench.
Of course, today's weather, as we look at Donnie Zimmerman, along with Dr. Les Matthews, one of his coaches, they like this weather. It's not going to drain the players as much as the semifinals did. Donnie Zimmerman, excellent career record. Those 6 losses, incidentally, think of this. He had 3 losses this year. That doubled his career loss record. What a record for a coach. He came in the first 2 years, won the national championship. Last year was the only year he wasn't in it. This year he's back.
Joe Lizio pushed off the ball by Damon Stewart. Goldstein picks up the ground ball. Nifty pass back to Lizio. In this unsettled situation, Cornell has the advantage. And Mike Cummings, number 6, beats his man and shoots. And it's stopped by Kesenic, who went down with a stick to make the save. And now Stewart counterattacks for Hopkins in a 1-1 game. And Bouvier cradles on the far side.
Kesenic, a freshman goalie, but what class he shows and what experience he shows. when he reads the offense so well. If you show him how you're going to shoot, it's almost impossible to get it by him. You really have to deceive him with your shot.
Petramala came streaking in. The pass was fed behind him, but it's picked up by Chanenchuk.
He's still in there begging for the ball. Now he kind of goes back. Petramala will go over. Hopkins will slow the ball down, get their offense back on the field.
Mike Morrill, the goal scorer. His grandfather was a coach and All-American at Hopkins, and his father played for the Blue Jays as well. It runs in the family at the Morrill household.
Well, they've got an award at Hopkins for the best attackman, and it's named after that member of his family. He very well may win it this year.
Mike Morrill feeds Ladoyan, and now Brendan Kelly outside that restraining area. Here's Dressel, the Blue Jays slowing it down.
Well, Bill, they slowed the tempo against Maryland. They were very successful. They're doing the same thing today, and so far, successful again.
Ladoyan backpedaling. Good defense by Francis. Don't let him get that shot away.
And of course, the more deliberate you are with your style, the more it takes Cornell out of their game. We saw Cornell start mishandling passes. They're getting a little bit stiff.
Wood with a shot, and Schmoller turned that aside. And DeStefano starts the Cornell clear. Charlie Caliendo weaves his way by John Dressel, and Caliendo has a step. Feeds Meyer in front, around Petramala, and he shot it wide. Hopkins ball.
You see, Cornell doesn't waste any time. They get the ball on the move. They take it right to the goal. That's what they like to do, and if they shoot that much all game, if they can produce a lot of shots like that, they feel comfortable in the fact that they'll be on the winning end of the score. Richie Moran on the sidelines with his team, an excellent coach, 19th season at Cornell. And in 77, 10 years ago from today, he had an undefeated team, ironically, went on to beat this same Hopkins team to win the national championship.
Ladoyan feeds it across to Kelly. He's double teamed, but returns to Ladoyan, has a step. You know, Moran played on a national championship team as well at Maryland. Kelly with a nice move to escape the double team. Feeds Bouvier. And the big 6'3" Bouvier gives it up to Wood. Here's Brian Wood looking for his shot. And Bouvier feeds in front behind Kelly. Aaron Jones racing to pick it up. Here comes the senior out of Hempstead. To Goldstein, and Kesenick turned it aside as Goldstein let it fly. And the freshman goaltender clears the ball to Dressel.
Tremendous save by Kesenick. Point-blank shot. Cornell working it to perfection.
Now Schmoller cut out of the cage.
Oh, Cornell loves this run and gun, Bill. This is exactly what they want to do. But Hopkins can play this game. They just don't like to. Don't be misled by the fact they like to slow it down. This team is full of excellent athletes, the best lacrosse players in the country. And if you want to push the tempo, they can stay with you. They would just prefer to slow it down.
Here's Schmoller walking it out once again. 5:50 to play in the first quarter. 1-1 is the score. 23 is DeStefano for the Big Red. It's Angotti in stride. Here's Vince Angotti, and he shot it wide. Goldstein backs it up, and the Big Red will hang on to the ball.
That was a goal if Angotti had shot it literally just 3 inches to the right. He had beaten Kesenick on the far pipe. It was a good shot in the fact that if he missed to the outside, and he maintained possession. Goldstein backed up beautifully.
Angotti had a big semifinal game in the win over Syracuse with 3 goals. He had only 2, and those were against club teams. So, Angotti making the most of his weekend in New Jersey. Here's Meyer behind the cage for the attacking Big Red. Big and strong. Goldstein feeds in front. They score. Bob Cummings scores, and the Big Reds make it 2-1.
Well, so far, the most prolific scorer in the league this year, Tim Goldstein, has been involved in both scores for Cornell. Watch how he controls the ball behind. Goldstein looks, he gets it to the wing, beautifully placed, and there's the goal by Bob Cummings, who just comes slashing across. Bob Cummings to the left. Watch this. But Goldstein's the guy who really sets the table. Nobody does it better than Goldstein. He sets up those feeds so beautifully. He has an excellent tempo, an excellent change of pace on his feeds. Nobody does it better than this guy, Timmy Goldstein. 2-1 Cornell.
Cummings this time takes the face-off. against Gunning, and again the Jays win it. But the big red steal, and Caliendo brings it into the attack half.
Bill, the problem with that slow down tempo situation is that if Cornell gets a lead, Hopkins has to throw that out because Cornell won't let them, and they have to score goals to get back in it.
Whistle behind the play. Mike Cummings may have gotten called for a 1-minute slash.
This will be the second penalty on Cornell, the second extra man opportunity for Hopkins, and that is where they got their only goal. It wasn't on an extra man play, if you remember. It was on a situation where the ball went out of bounds. Hopkins got the ball back, made 3 quick passes in the transition sort of play and style, and got a shot, a good high percentage shot on Shimola. So let's expect Cornell to stay a little tighter and make sure they get that shot blocked.
Here's Boubier. As the Jays work on this man up. Boubier, top of the box, feeds Wilkins, who have scored a goal in the semifinal game. Here's Ledoyen shooting it wide. He got knocked through the turf by Francis after he let it fly. Ledoyen will remember that time the next time he tries to shoot.
Hopkins starting in a 1-4. They shifted to several players, but still we're in a 1-4, looking for those big cannon shots from the wing right there.
Here's Wilkins on the right. Ledoyen again. Score! Larry Ledoyen, the extra man goal. And the Blue Jays tie it at 2.
Well, that's surprising only in the fact that Cornell gave him 2 shots at it. Ledoyen had 1 shot. He missed the goal, but the defense did not react. Now look at Aaron Jones in the middle. He's way too tight. Ledoyen's out there all by himself, and he had the second rocket blast of this extra man play. Now look, Aaron Jones way off of position coming at him, but Ledoyen just sets his feet, takes aim at the upper corner, and lets it fly. 2 extra man goals, score tied 2-2.
It'll be Gunning again against Mike Cummings. His brother Bob has the second Cornell goal. Cummings withheld the ball from play, and that'll give the ball to the Jays.
In a 1-4-1 situation, like Larry Ledoyen just scored on, you normally don't let those wing guys get those easy shots. And they are commanding the extra man as they are the faceoffs. Hopkins 5-0 against Cornell. And I'll tell you what, when you add up face-off domination over the course of a whole game, that could be the telling difference right there.
Here's Brian Wood moving in. Feeds Morrow behind the cage. Jones picks him up. Schmoller not as vocal today as he was against Syracuse. We have both nets mic'd, so you can hear Schmoller. Boubier rings it off the left pipe. You can hear the ring. Here's Wood in front. He scores. Brian Wood off the turnover gets the unassisted goal, and Johns Hopkins retakes the lead, 3-2.
Hopkins is being totally opportunistic. The tough matchup, as I suggested, is Vivian on Boubier. Boubier absolutely beats him. Vivian gets it back. Bad pass past the goalie, and Wood backs it up and comes in against a very unorganized Schmoller. If you can get a goalie disorganized, that's when he is vulnerable. Brian Wood backed up that pass that missed Schmoller. They had possession, Cornell did. Vivian missed the pass. Wood, very opportunistic, picked it up, came across. Schmoller, no chance to set his feet. And Wood, of course, in that situation, is almost a dead scorer. Hopefully this won't shake up Schmoller, Bill, because he's an excellent goalie, but you give a team a couple easy opportunities to shoot on a goalie or a goalkeeper, he sometimes loses that confidence.
Gunning has won all 5 faceoffs for Hopkins. This is the 6th, and the Jays have it again.
This team can beat you in so many ways. Hopkins has a great coaching staff. We say it time and time again. Cornell, Richie Moran is an excellent coach also, no question about it. But Hopkins gets in here year in, year out. Since Hopkins and Cornell met, Hopkins has been back here 9 times out of the 10 years. They've only missed 1 year. This team puts this game on the schedule almost like a regular season game.
Kesenick, 30 yards from his cage, feeds Petramala on the left. Across the Channon shot. The Blue Jays stay onside. And Morrill feeds Brian Wood. 3-2 Hopkins. 2:45 to play in the first quarter. Brendan Kelly. And now Brian Wood. Shoots. Schmoller turns it aside. This is Evan Conway up to Goldstein. And now Steve Meyer, number 27. Here's the feed in front. McCormick couldn't handle it. It will go out of bounds. Back to the Blue Jays for the national title. And the Blue Jays have a 1-goal lead.
Clean the windows. There are always dozens of outdoor cleanup jobs to do. Well, throw
and handling, call toll-free 1-800-544-1000. That's 1-800-544-1000. For fastest delivery, use your credit card and call 1-800-544-1000.
This is Bill Roth along with Lee Felsbo back at
My times 4, it's 24-0. But even if they dominate those faceoffs to any degree, they're going to have possession and the opportunity to control the tempo. A must for Hopkins so far, doing everything right, just like they did against Maryland to get here.
2 of the 3 Hopkins goals, the man-up variety with that extra man, and the third on a giveaway.
They really haven't beaten them straight up yet, so Cornell should feel fine. They should feel relaxed. Hopefully, Schmoller, the goalie, is not shaken at all by those goals, because man up in the straight-ahead situations, he's playing a fine game, and it's only 3-2. This is anybody's ball game, as we thought it might go down to a real fourth-quarter situation.
Here's Petramala.
You know, Bill, most of these championship games are low scoring. They just end up that way. There's a lot of tough defense, and both teams at the caliber of play right here don't extend themselves as much as they do during the season. Tighten up just a little bit.
It's also the second game in 3 days for these 2 teams.
Absolutely. Good point.
So come fourth quarter, that gas tank may be getting close to empty for some of the players, although it is a cool day, whereas during the semifinals, it was an oven on the field for the players. Here's Wood with the feed in front. Dressel tried to go behind his back, but lost it out of bounds after the missed shot, and the Big Red have the ball.
You watch Paletta when he played Wood. He's wrapping him constantly. He's constantly putting Wood on Brian Wood. He's constantly hitting his stick to not give him any ease for shooting or for feeding. Paletta, the best defenseman for Cornell, doing a great job of controlling the D.
Again, the Blue Jays nearly conceding the clear here.
What they
Bob
do,
Cummings will walk it up.
So they make it real tough once you get to the middle of the field. It looks easy now, but once that second pass comes, or the first pass toward midfield, that's when everybody looks like they'll be taken.
This is Tim Vivian dancing into the goal area with the big stick. He shoots, and Kesenic made the save. Here comes the freshman. Pass behind Steve Mitchell, out of bounds. A mistake there and a turnover by Hopkins.
Kesenic is so impressive. He is so calm and cool in the goal, but he makes almost every save. You really have to beat him by feeding like Cornell normally does. You need to make 3 passes, 2 or 3 passes, to get him moving in the goal. If he's standing there waiting for the shot, you almost just can't beat him.
Pull 20 feet. Back race.
This is the key matchup for
Goldstein
Hopkins.
draws a flag, a delayed call coming up. They have 1 shot. And they cannot bring the ball outside of the box on this slow whistle call. Here's Wurzburger.
Back left.
Back to Goldstein.
Chip.
And now the ball comes out of the box, and it will be a Cornell man up.
Wasted opportunity. That's a continuation. They should make sure they get a shot. They didn't do that. Mistake by Cornell. I'm sure Richie Moran would like to have his team go ahead and get the shot, no matter if it's a good shot or bad shot. Get the ball toward the goal when the referee is giving you the opportunity.
This is the first extra man opportunity for Cornell. The Jays are 2 of 2. They bring in Mike Cummings, 6, 22 Caliendo. And then up front, Bob Cummings, Goldstein, Wurzburger, and Meyer. Those are the 6 attacking Big Red.
And it starts right back there with Goldstein. He's behind the goal. He will set up the feeding situation from behind. They start off in a 1-3-2. The 1 is right there with Goldstein, the feeder.
Cummings out in front. Here's the shot. He scores. Mike Cummings.
Whoa, what a rocket that was. 10 goals on the year for Mike Cummings. He's only a freshman, but that's the shot you want from up front. Now he's up on top, and that's the kind of shot the guy on top has to take. He'll be up to your left, right here. Watch, he's begging for the ball. He gets it, 3 steps, nobody picks him up. He just gives it all he can. In that situation, velocity beats quickness almost every time. He just had an uncontested cannon shot, and Kesenick, who's been superb in this first part of play, didn't have a chance.
9 and 6, the Cummings brothers on the sidelines. They each have a goal. That one by Mike Cummings, the freshman, his 11th of the year. That's a record for freshmen at Cornell. Here's gunning off the face-off to Wood. Cornell has a solid future ahead. There's the extra man chances lead.
Johns Hopkins 2 for 2. Cornell 1 for 1. I tell you what, if those figures hold, that'll be the first time in history. Both teams real sharp on extra man.
Here's Dressel feeding Kelly. Chase behind the cage, feeds in front. They score. John Dressel, as John Ciccarone put it out in front, scores, and it is 4-3 Hopkins.
Well, the guy that made the play was Brendan Kelly. He came in from the sideline. It was a substitution play where he beat the man that was coming in to substitute on the defense. He beat his defense. Watch, he came flying in. He asked for the ball. He got it a little bit late, but what happened with the defense was Aaron Jones got confused. Right to the left, right there. Aaron Jones started looking to help, and conversely, John Dressel was wide open and got the shot. Brendan Kelly made the play by coming in from the sidelines, beating his defender, asking for the ball, and then finding the open man.
Hopkins has dominated on the faceoffs thus far, and they win their 8th. Dressel scoring from Ciccarone. Those are familiar names to Hopkins fans. And a loose ball push called. The possession
should go to Hopkins.
It should.
Timeout.
And a timeout has been
Hopkins.
taken by the Blue Jays. Well, they have the lead with 11:53 to play in the first half. For the national title, the Blue Jays by 1. Red, down by 3, have called a timeout, and they've gotten some excellent goaltending here in the second quarter from Paul Schmoller.
Let's take a look at some of that excellent goaltending. He's right there parked against the pipe. Bouvier is coming in one-on-one against Vivian. This is a play that had worked for Bouvier earlier on. Vivian overplaying him, giving him an opportunity. This time he was double-teamed out there in front. Schmoller standing his ground, getting a weak shot because of the double team. Stands straight up, releases the outlet pass. Class act, these two goalies here today in the championship game, and of course that's expected because these two teams have had a lot of success getting this far.
They may see each other again. Schmoller only a sophomore and Kesenick a freshman.
One play now, Bill, with 36 seconds left. Richie Moran had an opportunity to call a timeout, set up an offense. He desperately would love to have a goal produced down by 3 with only 30 seconds left.
Now would give his team a boost going into that halftime locker room. Here's Meyer behind the cage. Feeds Goldstein. Feeds in front. And the shot really was never taken by Würzburger. Here's Goldstein again with the feed in front. Here's Amgadi with a shot, and the whistle blows before we got it off. A loose ball push on Hopkins.
Boy, that's a tough call. They give the ball back to Cornell, but they almost stopped an offensive play by giving it to him. It's almost not worth the call. They stopped a little bit of a flurry by Cornell to give him the ball back. They already had it. 17 seconds left now, and I think that shot actually did go off of Kesenick. It was an excellent save, good motion offense.
Here's Goldstein. Straight in. Shoots. Kesenick the save. And he'll clear it long as time runs down. Hopkins may get a shot here with 7 seconds left. Aaron Jones picks it up, and that's the end of the first half. At halftime of the national title game, the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays lead by...
Something to say about it as we go into the second half. The halftime stats, Bill, pretty tight except for one area, face-offs. 10-3 for Hopkins, but the shots turn out pretty even, 16-14, and of course the goals at 7-4 really tell you that the opportunity goals, the ones off opportunity and transition, have gone Hopkins' way. They are really have been picture perfect in that regard as we look at the rest of the stats. Extra man plays also, too, very, very potent. 2 for 3 for Hopkins, 1 for 2 for Cornell.
As you see, Joe Lizio and Greg Gunning set to square off. Whistle blows. Here we go. Second half of the national championship. And Gunning.
Hopkins continues to control the face-offs. They're absolutely controlling every one almost, but look at the pressure that Cornell's putting on.
Here's Bob Cummings. His team trails by 3. He feeds Lizio, who takes a whack but keeps on coming. Now, the loose ball is cradled away by Mitchell and scooped upfield to Damon Stewart. Somehow holds onto the ball but throws it away. Look out here. Here's Goldstein one-on-one. Did not make the pass to Wurzburger.
Lilly did a nice job of keeping his stick right on Goldstein. Goldstein had a notion to go over his shoulder to feed a cutting Cornell player. And look at the action in the second half. Cornell, I'm sure, was told by Richie Moran to step it up. We need to get into a transition game. To beat Kesnick, we got to make passes, and to get passes, you got to move the ball.
They've kept Wurzburger and Meyer off the scoreboard. Those guys have combined for 71 goals on the season. The top 2 goal scorers, 27 is Meyer. They have not been a factor. The Johns Hopkins defense has been the story of this Final Four. Their close defense completely shut down Maryland, and in the first half shut down Cornell. Here's the feed in front to Cummings. He picks up the ground ball and flips it for Keener, who couldn't see it, and it's cradled instead by Angotti, number 7.
Good control by Cornell, better than they were doing all first half. They're not only getting some good feeds and shots, but they're controlling the ball afterwards.
Goldstein is stripped, and Petramala lobs it ahead to Chanenchuk. He sidesteps Angotti and lobs it upfield to Mitchell, who couldn't control. Wood will pick it up, and he one-arms it to Chanenchuk. It's 4-on-3 for the Blue Jays. Here's Chanenchuk. He feeds Bouvier in front. He scores. Craig Bouvier gives the Blue Jays an 8-4 lead.
Well, Tim Vivian shaking his head. Again, he came out too aggressive. He had to slide to get to Bouvier. You cannot run past this guy. He's too big. He's too strong. He's too good. Watch, he gets the ball. Vivian goes out too strong. And Bouvier simply runs right by him. For all his size, Bouvier is exceptionally quick, has tremendous talents. The last thing in the world you want to do playing defense on him is to overcommit, to get too close. And so far, Tim Vivian has been playing him too aggressive. That's Cornell's style, but against this Bouvier, you better back off. Great play by Hopkins, though.
Bouvier, along with Wood, playing their final game at Johns Hopkins. They want to go out national champs. Here's a giveaway. Goldstein moves in, he scores! The Jays give it away right off the faceoff, and Wurzburger fed the ball to Goldstein, and it's 8-5.
Timmy Goldstein got a chance to fake the goalie. Now watch what he does. He gets the breakaway here as the ball's fed into him. He'll fake him low. Actually, he faked high twice, pulled the stick back, and dropped it low. Once he got Kesnick to make the small commitment to the high fake, that's when he went low with the shot. Timmy Goldstein showing that he can also score as he comes up with his second goal of the day, 2-2 so far.
2 goals within 10 seconds. The Jays made it 8-4. The Big Red make it 8-5 10 seconds later. That's how fast things can happen in lacrosse. Here's Gunning on the face-on. Francis picks it up for the Big Red. And they'll start. They're clear up the left side. Here comes Cummings. He outraces Webster down that far side. Now Wurzburger, who picked up the assist, looks to Meyer. Now Goldstein at his favorite spot behind the net. The nation's top scorer this year in lacrosse. Straight in, moves in, and Kesnick made the save on Goldstein. He had him straight on one-on-one, and Kesnick stopped Goldstein. Now here's Chanenchuk as the Jays come in on the attack.
They'll back
Wood
off.
will slow it up.
Right, they'll wait for their offense to get in. There's a man open on the far side. Wood trying to hit Ledoine. He's going to try it.
And Ledoine comes down with it to Bouvier. Behind Schmoller, the goaltender for Cornell.
Bill, we've seen time and time again how motion affects the efficiency of a shot. If you can get these goalies moving, you've got such a much more of a chance to score in lacrosse.
Here's Ledoine with a shot, and Schmoller got a piece of that as Kelly set him up. and Ladoyan shot the ball left-handed, and Schmoller got a piece of it.
Timmy Goldstein on the last shot really was pretty much stationary when he took it on Kesenick. Kesenick turned it away as he has all day. The time before, Goldstein was moving, and he had the commitment. He made Kesenick make a commitment to one side or the other, and he beat him on the other. So, again, motion for Cornell is going to be the key if they're going to win.
Here's Bouvier coming out of the corner against DeStefano. Score!
Well, we put a lot of pressure on Brian Wood about how good he was as a first-team All-American, but we forgot about Bouvier. Don't forget, this guy's a first-team All-American, too. He's coming off an injury, but he has been unstoppable today, and he pumps in another one from that side. He's been powering on the far side. Bouvier 2 goals in a row. He's got 3 of the last 4 goals for Hopkins. When Brian Wood isn't available, they've got another first-team All-American in Craig Bouvier, and he's rising to the occasion.
Here's Gunning off the face-off again, moves right into Wood. They come at you in waves, do these Blue Jays. And now Wood worked on by Jones, knocked the ball down. Here's a shot in front, Schmoller the save. As Morrow fired. Al Lizio counterattacks for Cornell. 11 minutes to play in the third quarter. And Joe Lizio out of Massapequa, New York. Gives to Caliendo. Charlie Caliendo, number 22. Guarded by Mitchell. And he dropped it. Mitchell picks it up. Hopkins bench clamoring for a slash. And Lizio picks it. Zimmerman on the sidelines in a rage for a moment. He thought his player, Steve Mitchell, was slashed. Here's Goldstein, number 15. Feeds in front. Score! Cummings scores! And it's 9-6.
Mike Cummings has a real nice shot from out in front. He's been successful today with that a couple times. And what happens is he gets a little bit of a screen here. Now we'll see Goldstein come across. He finds Cummings up top. Cummings has a lot of traffic in there, and he screened Kesenick so that he, going to the backside, Kesenick couldn't follow the flight of the ball. Watch Zimmerman, though. Zimmerman wants a slash call.
That was on the play before.
He was going right at the referee right before that play happened to try to coax the referee into a slash call.
And it's 9-6.
His team didn't get it. Cornell came in and made a nice offensive opportunity turn into a goal.
3 of the Hopkins coaches are on the field yelling and screaming now. Not the sort of composure you'd expect, and now Zimmerman takes control there. What's happening, Lee?
Well, I'm looking at the other end of the field. Let's look when we get back down there. Craig Bouvier, watch Zimmerman now. He's getting real intense. The matchups have changed for Cornell defensively. They've got Bouvier guarded by Paletta. So they put their best defenseman on Bouvier. Move Vivian over and try to shut down that high-scoring Hopkins attack. But right now, Cornell looks for a goal.
Mike and Bob Cummings, each with 2 goals on the day. They've scored 4 of the Big Red 6. But still, that powerful attack has been shut down with the exception of Goldstein. Wurzburger and Meyer have been kept off the score sheet. Here's Goldstein behind the cage. Goes behind there now. Here's Cummings in front. Couldn't handle the pass. It comes to Keener, number 25. He scored the game winner in their semifinal win. Keener one-on-one against Channon. Chuck moves to the right with 9.5 to play in the quarter. Now Meyer behind the net, flips to Goldstein. Goldstein feeds. They score. Beautiful pass by Goldstein, hitting Angotti on the run. And it is a 9-7 game.
That'll wake up the Big Red fans, but this is textbook Cornell. This is what they've done all year. This is how Goldstein got 60-some assists. Watch that pass. Right in on a cutting Angotti, who got one step on his defender, and Angotti redirects the ball past Kesenick. The fans love it, but that's the play that got this Cornell team here. Moving the ball, let Goldstein originate the play, and get a cutting midfielder to score. Now they're back into their motion offense, and they feel a lot more comfortable. Back to a face-off, and look at the face-off domination by Johns Hopkins, 13-4.
Make it 14-4 as Gunning comes up with another one from Blue Jays. To Chanenchuk and now Wood with 9 minutes, 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Wood guarded by Jones. Lost it. Morrow couldn't handle it. And Francis comes the other way for Cornell. Here's Caliendo, number 22. Goldstein now. He has 3 assists on the day. Number 15. Looks for a cutter in front.
Back right, that's a Ward. Back center.
Now Meyer behind the cage.
Hold.
Here's Meyer, backs in, moves in, and the shot was stopped by Kesenic, and a whistle in front. They may have an injured Blue Jay player.
Bill, I think that shot came off the pipe. Tremendous move against DiTomaso, and the ball hit the pipe. Watch DiTomaso on defense get absolutely tied up as Cornell comes in and gets a good offense. Look how he protects the ball, dumps it right over, and hits the pipe. It actually hit the pipe. The difference of 2 inches cost him a goal, but good offense for this team. Steve Meyer doing a nice power move against DiTomaso.
And there was a 1-minute illegal check called on Hopkins.
John Hopkins penalty.
So Cornell will be a man up.
Checking.
Cross-check call on DiTomaso. He was wrapped up with Steve Meyer. Steve Meyer did a beautiful job of powering in, protecting the stick, and just missed a goal by hitting the pipe. But Cornell definitely back into an offensive groove.
Caliendo feeds in front, and a good save by Kesenic. Bob Cummings made the shot, and Kesenic said, no, you're not scoring on me here.
This kid is absolutely incredible. He's unflappable. Let's take a look at this shot. He comes in real tight, right in the face mask, I believe. Nope, hit the stick first, then the pipe. Kesenic not flinching at all. But 2 pipes in a row, Cornell still firing away.
Caliendo feeds Meyer on the left side. Here's the man in front of the shot is blocked. Ground ball corralled by Cummings from his knees. Lost to Chanenchuk, who gives to Kesenic. Here's the Hopkins clear. Petramala behind the back to Mitchell. He races into the goal area. That releases the penalty, and we're even up once again. Ground balls picked up, and now the whistle blows.
It's going to be offsides, I believe, on Hopkins with the ground ball.
And that is the call. 7:29 to play. Quarter number 3. The Blue Jays 9 and the Big Red 7. Penalty coming up on Paul Keener.
It's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty. 1 minute in the box against Cornell. Keener, that really wasn't called for. He was a little bit over-emotional on that play. The play was well past him. Now watch DiTomaso get rid of the ball, and he comes in, hits him high, uncalled for. That'll be unnecessary roughness. It'll cost him a minute in the box just when his team had some good momentum going for him. Hopkins, who's been deadly on the extra man today, goes back to that advantage.
They've scored twice with the extra man. They have a 9-7 lead. And here they come. Craig Boubier feeds Wilkins on the right side. Paul Schmoller will be tested here. You can bet that. Wilkins couldn't handle the pass, but Ciccarone chases down.
Look how aggressive, Bill, Cornell is being on this man down. Don't forget they're a man short. They're pressuring the ball. They're very aggressive. Sometimes that leads to mistakes.
Ciccarone tried the left-handed shot and shot it wide.
Look at the man-up situation here. 2 for 3 for Hopkins, 1 for 3 for Cornell. That shows you that these two offenses are just high-powered and very, very effective.
Wilkins likes to shoot from that wing area. Here he is. Doesn't pull the trigger. Feeds Ciccarone. And now Morrow behind the cage. So Wilkins, now Wood. Here's LeDoyen. He can fire it also. Here's Wood. Schmoller turned him aside. Wood let a cannonading shot go, and Schmoller stopped him.
These two goalies have kept their teams in the game. There's been a lot of scoring, but critical saves by the goalies have kept each team within scoring range, within striking distance.
Here's Aaron Jones with Good legs up the near side. Feeds it to Cummings, went by him. As long as they stay on side, they'll be okay. And they are, as Stevie Long picks it up.
That was a critical time for Cornell. Man advantage to Hopkins, and Cornell turned it back. They've got a little momentum going. They've scored the last 2 goals, and they certainly would like to get another one here to climb within 1.
It's 9-7 Hopkins. A shot. And the save by Kesenick, and the flag is thrown.
There'll be a
John
slash
Zimmerman on the sidelines, very upset. His coaching staff berating the officials.
Slash on Lilly, I think, will be the call, but look at Quint right here. Follow the play. You might also see the slash if it comes in front of you. Quint goes down low, takes it right up, easy as you please. But as that was happening, slash call, I believe, on Lilly, which gives Cornell now the man opportunity. 30 seconds ago, Bill, they were man down. How about that? They turned that one away. Now they have a chance to come within 1.
All in play. Here we go. Here's Goldstein. Now Meyer on the left side. That banging you here is Kesenick hitting the pipe with his stick. Caliendo feeds in front, and Cummings couldn't handle the pass. Kesenick will start the clear. They're a man down. He makes a nifty move there. He'll outrace one player. Petramala. Look at Petramala. Beats Caliendo. Dave Petramala with the big stick. Hits Ladoyan off the bench. Penalty is released. And Brendan Kelly. Back to Ladoyan. And now Kelly one-on-one. Bouvier.
With a new matchup, that's Pilata on him.
Bouvier shoots, and the stop by Smoller. Picks up the rebound, fires it upfield. Hits his man in stride. Here comes Mike Cummings. To Meyer.
Petramala's, let's see if Petramala's a little tired. He made that full field clear.
Here's Goldstein racing in, comes behind, feeds in front. Score! John Wurzburger scores, and it's 9-8. It's his first goal of the day, and another assist for the nation's leading scorer, Tim Goldstein.
That's Tim Goldstein's 100th point. 100th point right here. Watch this. This is the combination that's worked for Cornell all year. Wurzburger just takes off, beats the defense, and Timmy Goldstein finds him. And, of course, Quint Kesenick, who's been absolutely tremendous, couldn't follow that one. Pinpointed beautifully by Wurzburger, the 100th point of his career, the nation's leading scorer. We're checking the record books, and points scored. The record for a senior is Mike French, 105 in 1976, another of the great Cornell teams.
So he's 5 away from French with a quarter and 3.5 minutes to play. It's 9-8. That'll give the ball to Hopkins on the hold. The Blue Jays had a 9-5 lead. Mike Cummings and Gotti and Wurzburger have scored here in the quarter to pull Cornell to within 1.
Bill, I talked about Cornell's effectiveness. They had to move the ball to score against Quint Kesenick. They're starting to move the ball, and they're starting to put it in the net.
Here's Wood guarded by Jones, who gives him a shot. Now they double team the man, and Bouvier is wide open, one-on-one, feeds in front, and Morrill is stopped by Smoller. They risked the double team, and the goalie bailed him out. Hopkins will have the ball back here, but Smoller with a brilliant save following the double team behind the cage.
What a tremendous play. It's tough to follow. They had a great opportunity. Bouvier elected not to take it himself, but to get it out in front. Smoller, look at him raising his hands, and watch how successful he is here. He goes out real quick, gets his body on it. His leg just hit it. The ball comes out front, he scoops it, and he's happy. Look at that. He turned away that opportunity for Hopkins. Now he's trying to help it clear.
Here's Wood one-on-one against Aaron Jones. Beats him clean, winds up, shoots, and Smoller may have gotten a piece of it, or it may have hit Vivian, the close defender behind him.
Vivian looks like he made the save, and how about this for action? Both teams letting it all out right here. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left. Anybody's game.
in the third quarter. Here's a long pass upfield. 9-8. Hopkins on top. Now everyone just takes a breath. The Big Red are looking for the equalizer. Goldstein races on that far side. Number 37 guarding him is Greg Lilly.
Tough assignment for Lilly.
Goldstein has already set an assist record in the season. He feeds in front. There's the shot. They score. Wurzburger ties it at 9. Another beautiful pass from Goldstein, and what a day he's having in the national title game.
It's hard to believe that Goldstein can find Wurzburger. Watch 17. He'll go to the right. 17 goes to the right. Goldstein sees him, and Wurzburger pulls it back with an extended one arm and gets it behind Quint Kessenich. Tremendous play. Watch Quint. He's moving his feet. It's unbelievable that Wurzburger even got the pass. He put it back in. Holy smokes. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 6 assists have come from Mr. Goldstein. He has a tournament record 16 assists.
The Big Red have outscored Hopkins 5-2 in this third quarter.
Goldstein has 4 of the last, he's got 5 of the last 6 goals, plus the other one, he scored the goal. So he has been in effect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last goals have all been with Goldstein involved.
Here's Meyer with the feed in front, and it went over Wurzburger. And it's corralled on the far side by Joe Lizio.
That was a good matchup at the beginning of the game. Goldstein against Lilly. I'm surprised that Hopkins is staying with it. He's absolutely dominating the field of play. They might be better to put Petromalo on him.
Here he comes again. Goldstein. Lilly hits him a couple of times. Flips to Caliendo. And now Meyer. Back to Lizio outside the goal area. We hit the 1-minute mark in the third quarter. Caliendo can't handle the pass, and Mitchell gives to Kessenich. And now the Hopkins fast break. They don't do that particularly well, and Aaron Jones counterattacks for Cornell. He sidesteps a man. Here's Wurzburger shooting, and it went wide.
Wurzburger was going against Shanachuk with a short stick. He faked like he was setting up for a feed. At the last moment, he pulled a shot with little or no angle. Nice ploy, but he missed the goal. They maintain possession with a good backup by Goldstein.
20 seconds to go. Here comes Bob Cummings. He moves in, he shoots, and Kessenich kicked it out as Cummings went to go low. Kessenich made the save. 10 seconds left. Here's Paletta digging it free. It stays in play. Do they have time for a shot? Wurzburger, open net, shoots, and it went wide as time expires in the quarter. Wurzburger nearly gave the Big Red the lead at the end of 3.
That was a Hall of Fame play by Wurzburger. He was shaken up on it. Unbelievable. Watch the athletic skill of Wurzburger. The ball comes down. Pallotta sees him over there. He gets it. He's hammered from behind by the goalie, but he takes 2 spins in the air, comes down, gets the shot off, not knowing where he was. It went wide of the mark. What a game.
After 3 quarters in the national championship game, we are at 9.
Now, they're beating him by passing the ball around. And look at the face-off stats, dominated by Hopkins, but more importantly, the shots are pretty much even, and Cornell has pulled themselves back to an even situation.
Richie Moran had a long stick, number 37. Todd Francis take the face-off. The first time we've seen that. He'll chase off the field now, but he did not use a normal face-off man. He had one of his long stick defenders take the face-off, and they will have the possession. So chalk one up for the 19-year head coach of the Big Red, Richie Moran.
Francis is a great athlete, tremendous speed. Richie Moran has no qualms in using him in that situation.
This is Paul Keener. He wears number 25 for Cornell.
He's going against a short stick midi, and that's what he wants to take advantage of. 1-on-1.
Now to Goldstein.
Hopkins maintains that matchup. Lilly against Goldstein. Look at Moran. He wants that to be taken advantage of. He wants Goldstein to beat Lilly.
Here he comes, 1-on-1. Goldstein, he moves in. And he'll go and circle the cage. Feeds in front. Vince Gotti comes down with it. And Gotti has some room on the switch defensively by Hopkins. He shoots, and Kesenick went up to make the save. Here's the clear to Chanenchuk, number 13. Chanenchuk into the goal area, feeds cross field. Here's a shot, and it was blocked by Aaron Jones as Wood teed it up. Wood. Flip-flop with Webster. 9 times. Fourth quarter. Substitutions for Hopkins. They bring that first team attack in midfield in, and here's Brandon Kelly, number 32.
Hopkins very deliberate again. Back to square one with a tie score, and they want to control the tempo.
Kelly knocked to the turf by Bob Cummings. And let's see what the call is. A slash on Cummings. And a 1-minute man up coming for Johns Hopkins. Don Zimmerman talks it over with Wilkins. He'll send in his extra man offense here. They could use a man-up goal, and they may need one. They're going to win their third title in the last 5 years.
Well, this is where Hopkins has been deadly in this extra man play. We just noted that 1, 2, 3, 4, their last 5 goals for Hopkins have all been unassisted. Every goal except the first one for Coronel has had an assist, predominantly Goldstein. So this is a good opportunity to get one of those unassisted goals. Hopkins, of course, wanting to take advantage of it.
Bouvier feeds Wilkins on the right. LeDoyen, 14 on the left, can shoot it. Here it comes, and he shot it way wide. They set up LeDoyen. They've done that throughout their first 4 extra man chances.
Hopkins made the first 2. Have missed on the last 2 shots or attempts at extra man.
Here's Bressel's score. Ciccarone with a beautiful shot in front, and it's 10-9.
John Ciccarone was parked on the left pipe, right where he should be, and the ball was to the right. Now watch, all the way across field, Ciccarone standing there parked, just waiting, and of course, Schmoller had little or no chance to get back in time. Good play by Ciccarone. When the defense left him, he just parked himself on the pipe. Let's take a look at some of the play. After Wood gets rid of it, a check by Francis right into Wood. That's the aggressive style of Cornell. They come out and check. That one, of course, went up a little bit high, but the aggressive nature of Cornell sometimes can cost him goals. Somebody on the backside left Ciccarone open, and he parked himself on the pipe. Goal, Hopkins.
Here's a clean Cornell win by Lizio on the faceoff. He moves in, feeds Goldstein in front. Meyer couldn't tee it up. That's how fast you can fast break here. Here's Goldstein winding up and holding it. 10-9, Hopkins, Goldstein feeds out. Here's Lizio. Spins, shoots. Kesenick never saw it, and it went wide. Quint comes out of his cage. Number 11, Quint Kesenick will pick up the ball. Lobs it back into the middle. Dangerous pass. Chanenchuk scoops it up.
That was a dangerous pass, but tremendous hustle, and he was leveled. Kesenick was absolutely leveled by Charlie Caliendo. It looked like a pretty clean play, actually. Tough call by the referee. Caliendo can have every right in the world to hit him as long as he has the ball. Now, see if he has the ball. As soon as he has the ball released, yep, a little bit late. Caliendo put his head down, didn't see that the ball was released. He had designs on really leveling Kesenick. You like to do that. If a goalie gets caught out of the goal, you level him enough, it takes him out of his game and keeps him inside that crease. Hopkins did it to Jim Beardmore, took him out of his game when they got to this final game by beating the fine Maryland team.
And Kesenick is coming to the bench. On the near sidelines, Don Zimmerman.
They gave him a different stick. I think he broke his stick.
1 minute.
Changed the equipment. Looks like they might have cracked the head of that stick, and he has to go in with a new tool, but that'll be all right. Those sticks are pretty much the same. Each player has 2 or 3 on the sideline. The important thing is that Kesenick is physically sound, and again, Hopkins with that man advantage.
The Blue Jays have the only goal of the quarter. It was 9-5 Hopkins. Cornell tied it at 9, but Ciccarone scored an extra man goal only moments ago to give the Jays a 10-9 lead, and now they have another man up. Here's Bouvier. Over to Wilkins on the right. Wood feeding in front. It went by everybody. That'll be a pass. And that means Cornell gets the ball. Had it been a shot, Hopkins would have held on to it. But since it's a pass and it goes out of bounds, Cornell gets it.
It almost looked deflected, but what Brian did, he's got such a tremendous shot. Everybody has to respect the shot. He gave it 2 quick steps as if he was going to crank it up, and then passed over to the left side to the goalie's right, but he happened to miss the man because he was faking with his eyes so much. He really didn't keep his eye on his man that he was passing to.
Calling it withholding the ball from play on Keener. He had a hand on the ball, and that's illegal. So Keener will chase off, and Hopkins will have it.
I tell you, we've seen 2 of those calls in 2 games.
You don't see that all year, and then you see it twice in the playoffs.
Breaks my heart, I'll tell you right now. I didn't know these guys were cheaters. Come on, guys.
Well, that's how you used to play, I hear. Right?
No way.
Here's Bouvier in front, couldn't handle the pass. Morrill can't get it away from Aaron Jones. Look at Aaron Jones play, and he may draw a flag here. Yes, he will. Or will he?
Bouvier made the play. You'll get a slash call on Bouvier. He gets 1 minute, and now the ball goes back to Cornell. Watch the play as Aaron Jones, tremendous stick, beats 2 people, comes in here, and the slash call was right in that area. It could have been one of 2 people, but Aaron Jones draws the slash. Now what Cornell's going to have to do, I think, is get possession inside the box before they have the man advantage. It'll be even up, each team with a man down until they get the ball inside the box.
LeDoyen goes off for the 1 minute slash. You're right.
Bill, are you thinking about a delayed whistle possibly on that play? I guess if it's in the defensive end of the field, maybe they don't get the benefit.
They get the ball in the box. That releases Caliendo. He will pick up that ball. It is 6-on-5, a Cornell man up. They need a goal to tie it.
So far, they've liked to shoot from the corners. Look at Kessenik.
He came way out of the net to pick up the Cummings pass. Now Kessenik will be chased by Goldstein. Let's see how fast he can run. At midfield, he lost it. And Mike Cummings takes a chop at Kessenik.
Well, Kessenik did the right thing. He just wanted to keep control of the ball. If he didn't lose it, he was doing his job. And it was checked off by Goldstein. Now let's watch what he does. He sees the pass is going to be in his range. He makes a gamble, goes back, picks it up. Had he missed that, he would have been right back in. Really no harm done. Heads up play by Kessenik. When he brought the ball to midfield, nobody to pass to, and then the ball hit the ground, he literally laid on the ball, stalling play. All they do is lose possession, and things are okay. You'd much rather have that than give up an open goal with nobody in there.
Cornell still with the man up. Here's Meyer. To Goldstein. Back to Meyer. And Kessenik made the save with the right foot. The rebound is stopped in front by Kessenik again. He made 2 big saves to keep it a 10-9 Hopkins lead. Here come the Blue Jays. Here's Mitchell. Goes back to his own defender. Crossfield pass. Cummings missed the check. Here comes Steve Ciccarone. Now LeDoyen out of the penalty box, moving in and shooting it wide. Number 9 is Bob Cummings, a first-team All-Ivy League performer. Started by Mitchell, and he flips it to Goldstein. Here comes Tim Goldstein. He moves in. Beautiful move, and Kessenik made the save. Goldstein ended up in the crease. That's a violation.
You talk about a great athlete, Bill. Watch Goldstein. He's really pushing Lilly to the limit. Goldstein's been in 6 of the last, or he's been involved in the last 6 goals. Look at that. He leaves his feet. He can't step in the crease. He knew he had little or no angle, so when he came in, he left his feet. Of course, when he does that, he gives Quint the absolute direction of his shot because he cannot shoot low anymore. But the athletic ability is tremendous on this guy, Goldstein. Not only can he feed well, but he can score, and he's taking it to the cooker for his team.
Here's the Hopkins clear.
Goldstein has 2 goals on the day, so again, with all his assists, he's a factor.
Here they come. Here's the feed. They score. It's It's a tie game. Off the transition, Tim Mulligan ties it at 10-10.
How about this for Mulligan? Here's what they love to do in Cornell. First, John Dressel has the ball checked away by Francis. Francis goes down in a heap. The ball comes up, and here they go. Now they'll look down the field and try to find Mulligan. It's Steve Long who does, and he comes in, pulls the stick back on the right, and just gets it by Kesenick to the far pipe, and he's happy about it. Tie score, 6 minutes, 58 seconds left.
Costly mistake. The Jays will get the ball back.
Real costly mistake. And I'll tell you what, Richie Moran's sitting there on the sidelines with his hands on his shoulders. He's got his hands up saying, what's going on? Look at the crowd here, part of that 17,000. And they love this action. 10-10, 4 minutes to go. You couldn't ask for a better finish to an absolutely tremendous and exciting season. Undefeated Cornell against the upstart traditional favorite Hopkins.
Here's Ledoyen on the left. Beat his man off that double team. Larry Ledoyen moves in. He shoots it wide. He did not quite have the angle. Hopkins will hold on to the ball as Ledoyen tried to sidearm one with the right-handed shot.
Bill, I think he had the angle. He just kind of missed the goal. But what happened there again was the aggressive defense of Cornell got them in trouble. They got to watch that. Late in the game here, you don't want to give an opportunity to a great shooting team like Hopkins.
Here's John Ciccarone, number 4 behind the cage. In front to Kelly, backhands it. And a crease violation. Kelly stepped inside that crease.
Kelly's furious with himself, but he shouldn't be. It was a tremendous play. He was triple teamed down there, the goalie and 2 defenders. Watch, the goalie and 2 defenders come in, and Kelly just lips it around Schmoller. Schmoller had nothing to say about it. Tremendous play by Kelly. He just missed the goal. You couldn't ask for that any better shot. It was the only shot available.
That goal crease is 18 feet in diameter, and the opposing team cannot enter it.
Every possession here could be the last possession.
Here's a long pass ahead of the field. Kesenick caught way out of the cage. And Goldstein moves in. There's no goalie. Now Kesenick gets back, and Goldstein bounced it wide. The freshman took a risk there and lost. But Goldstein could not hit the net. 3:29 to play in a tie game.
The matchup continues. Lilly, 37 against all everything. The leading scorer in the country, Tim Goldstein.
He has 8 points on the day. The Big Red back into the contest, and we're tied at 10 with 3:15 to play.
And 2 of the last 3 goals have been Goldstein to Wurzburger. They just called a timeout, Cornell did. You might look for that combination in this critical situation.
15 is Goldstein. Behind Kesenick.
Back right!
They're doing picking and double picking on the crease for Wurzburger. They did 2 picks on him. Now they're back off, and they're inverting. So they tried it once with Goldstein behind the goal. Now they may try it with him in front of the goal.
It is still 37 Lilly who guards him. Goldstein tries to run by him on the right. He beat him but dropped the ball, and Kesenick comes racing out of his cage. He throws it upfield. Mitchell hauls it in to Damon Stewart, racing down the right side. Makes the pass to Bouvier. And now he'll throw it to Chanenchuk. 2.5 minutes to play.
This is exactly where Hopkins wants to be. They control the tempo enough to keep a high-scoring Cornell team down to 10 goals. They're tied with them, 2 minutes left. They'd love nothing more than to eat up enough time to get one good shot and take it home.
Here's Ledoyen trying to run in. He shoots, and Schmoller turned him aside. A big save at the 2:08 mark. And Schmoller lobs it high and long, and Kesenick comes out, and he picks off the pass ahead of Meyer. Kesenick makes the pass to Dressel. Under 2 minutes to play is Bouvier. Moves in and shoots and scores! Craig Bouvier gives the Blue Jays an 11-10 lead with 1:51 to play.
Craig Bouvier has scored 3 of the last 4 goals. Let's take a look at him. That's nothing more than a power shot. He went for the far pipe, and Bouvier beat Paletta, the best Cornell has, but this is strictly power and accuracy as he puts it straight in. Look at Greg Bouvier, first-team All-American. He's been silenced lately with his leg. You see the hamstring injury, just like Brian Wood. Maybe not as dramatic in stats this year, but Brian Wood got him to this game, and Brian Wood looks like he might be taking him home with the trophy.
Hopkins by 1, and Gunning feeds Mitchell. And the whistle blows. Illegal procedures to call against Hopkins. Cornell will have the ball back with 1:43 to play.
Looked like illegal procedure play. That's what he signaled. I don't know exactly what it was. Wait for the call. Nevertheless, Cornell gets it back. Minute and 43 seconds. Couldn't be any closer, Bill.
Here comes Cummings. With 1:30 to play, the Big Red need an equalizer.
You don't want to go against Mitchell, and that's exactly what they did.
And Shannon Chuck counterattacks with a head of steam. Has Bouvier ahead of the play. He moves in, he shoots, and Schmoller made the save. And Paletta corrals the rebound. 1:18 to play. 11-10. Hopkins on top. Let's see what the Big Red can do.
Stupid play by Chuck. They had the lead and the ball, and he takes a shot from outside. They could have ended the game down there with possession. But he takes a shot. That's an all-or-nothing proposition. He didn't get the goal. Now Cornell has the ball back. I'm sure Zimmerman will have a few words about that.
Richie Moran calls the second Cornell timeout. So they have used up all their timeouts with 1:06 to play. The Johns Hopkins Blue Jays, thanks to Craig Bouvier.
He's one of the classiest coaches in the game of lacrosse. He's got a non-scholarship school that produces good teams year in and year out.
Here's Goldstein. Feeds in front of Meyer. Couldn't get the shot on.
A tremendous check by DiTomaso. DiTomaso was in there checking on it and took it away.
Here's Caliendo with 45 seconds. Moves right in. Draws a flag. The Cornell Big Red are going to have an extra man. They'll go on the man up with 39 seconds to play. The Big Red need the equalizer. Back in a moment. A goal with 39 seconds.
Contact your local.
They need the equalizer.
Bill, they're only 1 for 5 in extra man situations.
Here's Goldstein behind the cage. Mike Cummings. Caliendo, now Goldstein back to Caliendo. Moves in front. Here's Mike Cummings. Couldn't handle the pass. 18 seconds left in the national championship game. Here's Cummings. Now Goldstein down to 10. Feeds in front. It's deflected. And it's deflected again with 3 seconds left. Out of bounds. Cornell has it. It was deflected. They'll have a chance for one more shot, perhaps.
They might get a chance for one more shot. I don't know if they'll get the shot off. This is very difficult. Hopkins will pack it in and won't give him a shot. Timeout by Johns Hopkins, and they're not going to give him that shot. We'll see the strategy that Zimmerman employs, but the idea here is that Cornell is about 25 yards away from the goal. They will have only 3 seconds to get somebody close enough to get a high percentage shot against the goalie that has looked to be the best goalie in the game of lacrosse today. Quint Kesenick has been stopping everything. He's been dominating play in this end of the field for the 4th quarter, and he has a chance to ice it right here with 3 seconds left.
They tried to set up number 6, Mike Cummings, the freshman. To let the shot go, but he mishandled the ball a couple of times there. Hopkins and Cornell have won 9 of the national titles that they've played, and could be number 7 for
And Bill, let me talk about the defense for Hopkins. The biggest part of credit the whole lacrosse world knows goes to a man named Fred Smith. Fred Smith may be coaching his last year for Hopkins this year, but the reason that team has been great for 40 years is not only the tradition they have, but a guy named Fred Smith who has created the tradition of excellence for the Johns Hopkins team. And this game, as much as any game this year, shows that commitment to excellent play through that excellent coaching spearheaded by a guy named Fred Smith.
They have 3 seconds to put the ball in the net. If they don't, the Blue Jays are the champs. Chalk up another national title for the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays.
Well, they took a gamble. They had to go for it. And they tried to thread the needle through the defense. It actually would have worked had Cornell been moving, but look at the crown for Hopkins. Let's just enjoy their excitement as they win the national crown.
Gets the game-winning goal, and goalie Quint Kesenick is a hero today. The Blue Jays win it. Back for a recap. Championship in lacrosse, 11-10 over Cornell. This is Bill Roth. Our own Leif Elsmo is down on the field with the winning coach. Let's go down to Leif.
Bill, yeah, we're right here. We're going to get Zimmy coming back. These two coaches have great respect for each other, and they're thanking each other right now, or congratulating each other. Richie Moran, congratulations. Great season. And Donnie, again, congratulations to you. I know you have a lot of respect for the Cornell coach and program, and you had to get that in.
Oh, yeah. You know, I think these two teams are so similar in that the kind of kids we have on our squad, just the heart that both teams showed all year in today's game. You couldn't ask for a better, closer game. And I'm real proud of our kids. And I know even though Cornell in defeat is disappointed, Coach Moran and everybody associated with Cornell is real proud of that squad.
Well, let's get back to Hopkins. You had a tremendous year. Again, a shaky year coming in. 3 losses. That's tough for Hopkins to bite off. You went against the #1 seeded team, Maryland. You beat them. You come into this team against Cornell, who is also undefeated. You had to do a lot again. You had to play a pretty much perfect game, control the tempo, and it looks like you did just that.
Yeah, you know, we told the guys this morning that to get here, we had to beat the defending national champion, and then we had to knock off the ACC champion, and now to win the championship we had to beat the Ivy champion. And our kids just played their hearts out. They were committed to do whatever it takes to win this ball game, and it might not have been the prettiest win for us, but when we needed it, they came through, and I'm just real proud of this this ball club.
Zim, as we get to your star players, I think of the defense for Hopkins. Craig, come on in. I look at the defense for Hopkins, and I think of how the defense has been great for so many years, mainly because of one man, Freddie Smith, and it's a tribute to him that this team is here today.
Freddie was here Saturday, gave it everything he had, couldn't make it back today. Beginning of the year, we said that we were going to dedicate this season to Freddie.
He's a tremendous coach, and
tremendous coach.
That's why this team has been great. Let's just leave it at that. The guy is tremendous, and the whole world of lacrosse knows what Freddie Smith has meant, not only to Hopkins, but to the game of lacrosse. Craig Bouvier, come on in here. Big game for good game for Brian Wood yesterday to get into the semifinals, to get you in here. You've had a season where the numbers have been that great, but you're a first-team All-American. Today, you rose to the top just like he did the other day. You dominated offensively. It's got to feel great to leave the game with a national championship.
Well, I was thinking about it all Sunday, thinking this is my last game, going out as a senior. Went out, came in as a freshman, saw what all the other seniors that as I was a freshman were going out as, saw the way they acted, saw the way they felt, the heart they had when they were going out as seniors. We won it that year. They wanted it, so I wanted it just as bad as they wanted it, and we got it.
Congratulations to you. Let me get one quick word from Quint Kesenick. Quint, right here, real quick. Here's a guy that I thought was the MVP in the 4th quarter. Quint, tremendous game. You're a freshman. Do you know what this means to you?
This was a big game for me. I thought I played a good first half. Then in the second half, they were feeding the crease, and I was helpless. And they really came back. I have to give them a lot of credit for that.
Quint Kesenick showing the cool that he shows in the goal by sitting here and talking about it like it was a Sunday game. Congratulations to Hopkins. Let's go back up to Bill Roth.
All right, Leif, thanks. And Kesenick played a great 4th quarter in the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays and a terrific season for the Cornell Big Red. Congratulations to both teams and to the champs, the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. Again, the final. Hopkins 11, Cornell 10 for Leif Elsmo. This is...